Knez Pave i knjeginja Olga sa svojom decom doselili su se ovde u vreme kada su mislili da će se možda još i nekako vratiti za Jugoslaviju. Međutim, do povratka nikada nije došlo i ova kuća je postala simbol izbeglištva, izgnanstva. Princeza Jelisaveta nije želela da se u nju vraća, a kad god da bi bila, u njoj su se vraćale uspomene jednog tmurnog i tužnog detinjstva. Uostalom, kad je imala 18 godina, iz ove kuće je pobegla i otišla. Tada se i udala i u tu kuću se, dobro se sećam, vratila. Zajedno smo gledali stvari njene majke i prisjećali se nekih uspomena. Ovo što držim u rukama, to su stari suncobrani. Jedan, kada je knjeginja Olga bila zadovoljna i srećna, bio je beo i obično je bio nošen onda kada se odlazilo na venčanja. I ovaj drugi ovde, crni, kada je bila žalost u porodici ili kada je neko od njenih članova ili prijatelja umro.
Yesterday I went into the garage and I found some wonderful old souvenirs of my grandmother. This is a beautiful fan with the imperial crown and blonde tortoiseshell. And you saw the other one on the wall just now. And here's a little tiny one. Beautiful, delicate design here and painted by hand. Including some very beautiful old fabric, which I found, which is just as good as new. And this wonderful piece, which almost looks like a burst of sunlight. Spring flower colors, quite wonderful. So again, you can see this room needs a lot of painting, but my parents didn't want to spend money on the upkeep of their own apartments. They preferred to spend money on the living room. And if and when they had guests, they wanted that to look very nice, and they didn't really spend much money. My father never painted his room, and it was not painted until after he died. In fact, the paint work was worse than this room. So I don't know why that was. I suppose in a way to punish themselves for something. I don't know what, but it was rather sad. Well, here we are in the living room of my parents' home in Paris, and I'm standing under a portrait of my grandmother, Grand Duchess Helen of Russia, who was married to Prince Nicholas of Greece. And I feel surrounded by the history of my past, Yugoslavia, Russia, Greece, Denmark, Germany. There's so many connections in our families. It's like a giant network all over Europe. I will now show you my grandfather. This is Prince Nicholas of Greece, who was a very well-known painter and artist of the period. He loved art and he loved books and writing, and he wrote plays that were performed in Athens. And my grandparents lived a very happy life together, although they were exiled many times from Greece, and they lived in Paris in the 20s and in the teens also. Well, my mother grew up in Paris before she married my father in 1923. I found an interesting letter this morning of discussing my mother's engagement to the King of Denmark. She was engaged to him before she was engaged to my father, which would have been another very good connection because my mother's family is, my grandfather's family is originally from Denmark. But that didn't work out, and she met my father in London, and she much preferred him. In the middle here where we had meals, and right here there was a piano, because I used to play the piano. It was a lovely little mahogany piano, and I used to practice a lot in here, and it was very quiet and a bit lonely. So after I broke my arm, I wasn't able to play the piano anymore, so eventually that was the end of the piano. But it was a very nice table, and there were about 8 chairs, and my parents had their lunch and their dinner here always. And now there's nothing left, everything's been sold. I found an envelope belonging to with a handkerchief inside that belonged to Grand Duchess Olga of Russia, and she was the daughter of Tsar Nicholas and sister of Anastasia, and they found this in Ekaterinenburg. I've never seen this before. Oh yes, there we have an initial. I wonder if she embroidered it herself in exile. Amazing, huh? What a piece of history, huh? Truly extraordinary. My great-grandmother, Grand Duchess Vladimir of Russia, had one of the most imposing collections of jewelry. She had an entire room with drawers about the size of this room, according to my mother, where she had all her sets. She had rubies and sapphires and diamonds and emeralds. And I found a little book which has hand-painted sketches of the lesser jewels that she had, which are still very beautiful. It's a beautiful collection of little bracelets and brooches, like a jeweler's notebook. The big jewels have all gone, they're all over the world now. The most beautiful tiara that the Queen of England owns was sold by my great-grandmother in 1920 because they needed money to live after they left Russia. And it's a tiara where you can exchange hanging pearls with hanging emeralds. It's probably the most beautiful thing she owns. So this is a wonderful collection. I think I had that once, but unfortunately it was stolen from me.
Ovdje su svi mogući troškovi iz meseca u mesec. Vidi se da je plata posluge rasla. Vidi se kad je posluga i bila nagrađivana. Ali upoređujući ove cene vidi se da je knez Pavle vodio jako mnogo računa da izdaci u ovoj kući ne budu veliki. Posljednji datum o izdacima u ovoj knjizi je iz 31. jula 1985. godine. Znači kuća je još nekako opstajala. Knez Pavle je umro 1976. godine, a knjeginja Olga je kuću vodila pomno do 1990. godine.
And here we have a group of the family going off to a picnic, all very elegantly dressed. They're very different from the picnics that we do nowadays. A beautiful little carriage, and they're all dressed up. And then here's a group of my relatives. This is Grand Duke Paul, my grandfather. This is Tsar Nicholas II, and my great-grandfather, Grand Duke Vladimir, who was a tall man, head of the army with a very loud voice, who used to frighten my mother a lot when she was small.
You are related, in fact, with the Romanovs very closely, aren't you?
Very closely, because of my grandmother. She's a direct descendant of all the Romanovs and first cousin of the last Tsar. So my mother grew up in Russia every summer and played with all the Tsar's children, and she knew them very well up until when the revolution broke out.
Knjeginja Olga nikada nije prestala da živi u prošlosti. To dokazuju i silni ovi albumi. Ona zapravo veliku pažnju poklanja pravoj dokumentarnoj obradi svega onoga što se događalo sa njenim roditeljima. Ovo je kuća u kojoj su njeni roditelji proveli svoj medeni mesec. Znači Elena i Vladimir iz porodice Romanov i njihov medeni mesec u Rusiji.